If you want to be coached in your life about anything, you could be coached in your life about anything. So a life coach is not someone who definitely needs a certain kind of education. But for me to speak about the education part of it, when it comes to like spirituality and stuff like that, and philosophy, you really don't need education in a lot of these fields. But what people need to understand is education is something that did not exist at one point. Like, there was a time when education didn't exist. There was a time when colleges and high schools and textbooks didn't exist. And then there came a time when it did exist. What does this mean? This means that you had to take the knowledge from somewhere to put inside of the schools. In other words, it had to exist outside of the school before you could put it inside the school. So somebody had to have every single thing that you teach in school or in a textbook. It had to exist outside of the book first for it to become a part of the education. Somebody without credentials had to put the stuff in the school to first to create the credentials. Okay? So this knowledge that's in school had to exist inside of a human being, in the mind of a human being first, before you put it inside of the textbook. Because a textbook cannot write itself, and a school cannot create itself. So there are people out here with knowledge, with natural knowledge that they receive from wherever, from living life, and they receive from the universe. And these are the people that create the books. Okay? So the knowledge had to exist before the school. Somebody had to have that knowledge to put inside of the school, to put inside of the book, so you could read it and study it and then get the credentials. Not everybody needs education. There's some things that you need education in, and there's some things that you don't need education in. We have to create a society where people are not based, their worth is not based on their education and what degrees they have. You don't need a credential to validate your worth. You are worthy and you're good enough just because you are. Whether you have education or it doesn't make you, because not everybody will have an education. If that was the case, then you wouldn't have somebody to collect your garbage. You wouldn't have somebody to sweep the streets. Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to do it. There's a place for everybody. Nobody is worthless because they don't have a certain degree or they don't have a certain level of education. You have the same amount of worth as Donald Trump. The homeless guy has the same amount of worth as Donald Trump because he's a spiritual being that is connected to the universe, like Donald Trump is. I'm really sick about this education shit, man, because we continue to define people by what they know, by what school they went to, what credentials they have, and it don't mean shit. It only means some shit if that's what you want. But if you don't want that, you should not be devalued or be put down.